Okay. A very good morning to you all. Okay, so as we know, University Putra Malaysia is organizing a Nature Week here at campus for the
Yes.
students. So four of us are here to discuss on the best way, best activity for the week. So basically, before getting into what activities we want to plan, I just wanted to give a small briefing about why we do this Nature Week actually. Nature Week is basically to provide an opportunity for students to develop and learn about the nature in more in depth, and then it's also to help the students to understand and appreciate the nature around them, and lastly to develop what to say like a secure environment for them to live in, so that in future they can take care of the nature that that was given to them. Okay, so in my opinion, I feel that the best activity to do during a nature week is to organize a tree planting activity, because as we know, in this technological era, there's much pollution happening around us.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. And then in my opinion, the only way to prevent it is by planting more trees, which is the activity that I suggested that just now. So when we ask the students to when we organize a thing like tree planting activity, it can reduce urban heat island effect around us, and then also reduce global warming, and then it can also improve air quality, because we know trees can filter out any dust particles or pollutants in the air, which can make our environment much more safer for us. And then lastly, it can also give off oxygen, which is important for us too. And then some of the social benefit that we can get from this tree planting activity is that researchers shown that students who interact more with green space are more likely to perform well in their education. So I feel that it's a good activity to organize, so that not only it saves the environment, but it also gives an uh, good impact on the students. It gives a good impact on the students. So that's my point. So Farid, what do you have to say about this? What do you think is the best activity?
Thank you, Shagan. I think the best activity is uh, we need to do a trip to national park. National park.
Okay.
Uh, what we know, we are the tropical country, and we have a lot of tropical forests, and our country have do a reserve forest, and reserve forest, they make it to be um, national park. What we know in our national park, we have uh, many unique flora and fauna in our forest, and we have many exotic animals that did not exist in other country. And also, uh, many scientists from other country came to our national park because they want to do research about our animal, about our uh, plants and the forest. And what we know, our forest have a lot of herbs that can be for medicines, that can be for cosmetic product, and a lot of that. And also, uh, we need to take care our national park also. From this trip, we can know how our national park condition. And for now, our country have a lot of problem to take care of our national park. And what we know today, our Malayan tiger is now going to extinction because uh, many our because our country did not care about it, and we have no something to do about it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that was a good point, Farid, about a trip to national park, right? So moving on, Mirul, what do you have in your mind?
Okay, so thank you, Shagan and Farid, for your points. So for me, I would like to suggest that we organize a camping trip to a forest reserve to celebrate Nature Week. So why did I say so? It's because First of all, on top of having fun, students can enjoy nature and indulge themselves in the surrounding nature. So this activity will obviously increase our appreciation towards nature and make us realize how lucky we are and how we need to keep on preserving the nature so that our future generations can be as lucky or even more luckier than us. Besides that, we can also learn plenty of soft skill to improve our nature survivalist expertise, such as um, pitching a tent, and rowing boats, and so on. And besides that, we can also carry out plenty of nature appreciating activities at the forest reserve, such as cleaning up the reserve lake or maybe just clean up for the reserve surroundings. So besides nurturing sense of responsibility in the students, we can also help preserve the nature. And lastly, like I said before, on top of having fun and all that, we can also strengthen the bond between students, which will be vital for us as we're going to continue to proceed the next chapter of our lives together. Okay, that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Virul, for that point on camping, bringing them to camping, right?
Yes.
Bringing students to camping. Okay, Kat?
Okay, from my point of from my point of view, I believe that we can organize a recycling day. This is because by doing recycle, we can reduce resource wastage among the students and also from the school. So during the recycling day, maybe the students can bring recycle items such as newspaper or unused books or documents from their home to, to, to recycle, and then maybe the school can also collect like water bottles or tin and cans from the student, which all of this can be recycled. So by recycling these items, we don't need to extract new resources from the forest or from the mining ore to make the new items. So as this is especially important for resources like paper because it comes from forests, and also maybe from plastic bottles because it comes from our petroleum. By doing this, those non-renewable resources can be preserved. Apart from that, we can also learn new knowledge by hand-on activities. This is because during the recycle day, students can be trained to classify the items. Like for plastic, there are a lot of grades. By doing this, they can learn new knowledge but not just on theory, but also on practical, because during the recycling day, they are going to do it themselves. My next point is that the recycling day not just only teach them about the knowledge of recycle and the nature, but also teach them about teamwork. So through the recycling day, they can work with each other, cooperate with each other to hit any target. So in this way, they can develop their soft skill, not just about the knowledge and practical. Therefore, I believe that recycling day is one of the best thing to organize during this Nature Week. Thank you.
All right. So from that, we can know that we had 4 activities just now, which was mine was about organizing a tree planting activity. Farid's was just now about bringing the students to national parks. Mirul's was on doing camping, and lastly, Kat talked about recycling day. So from our discussion, from our each of our points just now, uh, now let's just discuss about what do we think about others' points and reach a consensus where we can choose the best activity for the next week. So I'll start off first. In my opinion, I agree to Kat's point because you see, in this time, during this time, there's a lot of waste being thrown all over the place, meaning because the main cause of pollution happening around the world is simply waste. So by teaching the students how to classify the waste and then how to recycle them, in my opinion, is a good way to reduce pollution which destroys the nature. So by teaching them how to recycle, by classifying things and all, they can not only practice it at schools, but then they can also bring that practice and do it at home, and then teach them to their younger siblings or something, so that the culture of recycling becomes something that is normal to us, like same like countries, like foreign countries like US and all. So we have to make it a practice. So I feel that Recycle Day is also a good activity to be done during the Nature Week. So yeah, so any of you?
Okay, so I have to agree with Shagun, where organizing a recycling day would be the best activity for Nature Week, which is Cat's Point. And why do I say this? It's because not as Kat said, not only we can nurture teamwork among students, but we can also hands-on immediately make a big impact on the world by recycling. As you know, Malaysia holds tons and tons of garbage, so we can start overcoming the problem by organizing a recycling day. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Let's look at other points as well, like Shagan point, which is to organize a tree planting activity. I believe that this also help them to gain practical skills about how to make our environment greener. And apart from that, by having these tree planting activities, they can also have some teamwork as well. It is actually quite similar with the recycling day.
Yeah. So Farid, you have anything to say about it?
I agree about Shagan's opinion that tree planting activity, because we need to fight with our climate change. And what we know, climate change can be effect to all ecosystem, to all habitats, to all animal and plants, because research from 2015 that we will have no cocoa at 2030, because cocoa need have suitable temperature for them, and certain animal they need to make adaptation with temperature also, because not all animal uh, can absorb with with climate change. And what we know about iceberg now is become melting, and now our sea is going up,
Rising.
rising up. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so just one thing I just wanted to add, just now for actually Farid's and Nirul's point together, actually they talked about bringing the students outside of the school or institution. So I feel that in that sense, I disagree with their points, because it actually takes up some cost for us to bring the students outside of the institution. So rather, like if we compare mine and Kat's activity just now, it's just doing inside the institution itself. So I feel it's much more cost saving at the same time. So even though it's not a bad idea, but in my opinion, in cost wise, uh, it doesn't suit for me, because it takes up a big cost for us to bring the students to places like that.
Yeah, I do agree with Shagan's viewpoint because when you bring students out, you also need to waste some petroleum. And petroleum is a non-renewable resources, which does not suit the objective of the Nature's Week. So I believe that perhaps we should do something that we can do anytime, anywhere with the student. Yeah.
So in conclusion, what do you have to say, like if you want to choose?
I believe that among all of these things, all of us agree that the recycling day is the most suitable one for the Nature Week.
Yeah, we agree.
Okay, so I think that's that.
Yeah, okay, so that's all. I think so we came to a consensus just now. So thank you for coming today and then having a discussion in finding the best activity for the Nature Week, which is the recycling day.
Yeah, and thank you for watching.